Time now for the second semi-final. Who is going to face Miguel Becerra in the gold medal match?
On target number 1, representing Puerto Rico, Jean Pizarro. On target number 2, representing Slovakia, Jozef Bosansky. The line judge for this matchup is Andrea Aguilar.
Well, nice hug there between Bosansky and Pizarro at the start of the match. Slovakia facing Peru. These two have never met on the international circuit before. And what you have to say is that Pizarro's ranking of 699, or ranking round of 699, put him 46 in the ranking list. He had to beat Gerard Damsbo, Gelantine, and Kim Jong-ho to make it through to the final four. That is some tough run.
Yeah, he has proven before that he knows how to shoot an elimination match or a finals match in any sense of the word. But yeah, he's up against a stage winner from Antalya, Jozef Bosansky.
You were talking about bow weight. These two are big lads. Fancy they've got a bit of weight on their bows?
Actually, for a fact, I remember Mike Slusser telling me, and Mike Slusser has one of the heaviest bows that I've ever held. Mike was telling me he was shooting a couple arrows with the bow of Jozef Bosansky, and he could barely hold it up. That's how heavy the bow of Jozef Bosansky is. So I think the answer to your question is yes. Yes, they do.
Interesting to finish with a 9 there, because the first arrow for Bosansky has actually been marked for a measure now, and that means that it could potentially get marked up to a 10, and we'd have a 29 versus 29. Another feature of the run for these two to the final four is the fact that they both came through shoot-offs in their last match, their quarter-final match, to make it through to the final four. And also, it doesn't happen very often. I know it does happen, but it doesn't happen very often. But Jean Pizarro had to go through a double shoot-off.
Yeah, so against, if I'm not mistaken, Kim Jong-ho, he shot a double shoot-off. So the first arrow, they both shot a 10. And then they were so close to each other, or the difference was so minor that the judge had to say, okay, this is as close as it gets. This is a tie. You need to do it again so that we can establish a winner. And like you say, it doesn't happen very often.
That's some pressure, isn't it? You go through one shoot-off and then have to do it again.
Going into shoot-off, like typically I would say to myself, like, okay, let's put everything into this last arrow. And then sometimes if it's tied and you have to do another shoot-off, it's such a weird mental thing. You have to say, like, okay, let's put everything in this another last arrow. So it's a bit of a strange moment, but well, Sean managed really well because he is here.
Certainly is. Bosansky also came through a shoot-off against the Guatemalan Barrias after a 147-147, shooting a closer measured 10 himself. And you can see that arrow was marked up.
Lynch.
9. Yes.
The arrow in the first end was marked up for Bosansky, hence the all tied up score coming into this second end.
Yeah, I'm sorry for cutting you off there, but I was just a bit startled by what I saw on the screen.
How are you feeling now?
Similar.
That was a strange arrow, wasn't it?
He also had a look at his bow.
Well, that 8. Well, you have to say, he's really going to want that one marked up.
And it's moments like those where he's pointing at his sight, so maybe something was on his side or something was loose. But moments like those where you shoot a pretty good shot and it hits pretty far out of the middle, they can take away so much confidence.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the issue is, and so then you have to go into analytic mode and think, okay, was this me? Was this my equipment? You have to be really honest and say, like, okay, did I feel something in my shooting, or is there maybe something else to blame? Maybe an external factor. So a challenge for Jozef here.
Looks like the third arrow from this man here, Jean Pizarro, has been marked up. If that's the case, that would have been a perfect 30 for him. Really, it's that 8 from Bosansky is the one that we need to know about. Spread of arrows, but the last one was in the X ring, so Bosansky recovered quickly. The problem is, if it's an 8, the level that we're talking about here, I don't want to say the match is gone, but it's made it very, very difficult.
Yeah, although what we've said before is a lot can happen. In the last couple of ends, we've seen it over the course of today. A couple arrows can really make a difference in a match like this.
Well, that's the quizzical look from Bosansky, immediately looking up at his sight and making a little adjustment. Well, I'm not sure he even did make an adjustment there. It was marked up, that second arrow, from an 8 to a 9, but the difference is still 2 points. Bosansky shooting first as the trailing archer.
Yeah, so impressive, but Jozef seemed to have regained his confidence and just continued shooting like he would. And this is, I think, finally the moment where Jean Pizarro is gonna move his sight a little bit.
Yeah, that is some recovery, isn't it, to go from a 28 straight into 2 10s and an X.
Yeah, and that puts the deficit back to only 1 point with 6 arrows to go. So, I mean, at this point, that 1 point doesn't really mean that much.
No, but it was critical that 8 in the second end was marked up for Bosansky. And it does put him back in the match. Pizarro, though, having well, you said he finally adjusted his sight. You were thinking he should have perhaps done that a couple of arrows earlier?
Yeah, maybe, but then again, I know how deceiving it can be if you're just continuously hitting 10s. You think like, okay, I'm good. I shouldn't do too much to this, but like I don't wanna jinx anything. But then looking at his group, it's all a little bit high and a little bit to the right, so he could have maybe moved his group beforehand and prevented some of those 9s. But it's easy to talk about it after the fact, and especially from where we're sitting, we're not dealing with the the pressure of being on a finals venue. We're not dealing with like the feelings that you have about the shots. It might be that he's shooting shots and his sight is just over there, top right. So yeah, difficult without any further context, but just going by the group, I think he could have moved his sight.
Start of this fourth end, Bosansky taking his time choosing his arrow.
Yeah, I think he might have either broken some knocks or... Impressive to get that one off in time and hit the middle as well.
ťaháš, tlačíš celý čas aktívne, počítaj si.
Ten.
Dixon.
Nine. No.
Aktívny výstrel. Stále, ťaháš, tlačíš, pozor na
Big opportunity
Počítaj
here
si,
for
celý
Bosansky
čas.
now to put some pressure on. What end of archery that is. 3 X's.
Nine.
And what a turnaround in the match. A 1-point lead for Pizarro has evaporated, and now Bosansky going into the final end has a 1-point lead himself, and really very much is in the driving seat.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying in the, like after the last end, where that 1-point difference could easily turn into something else with 6 arrows to go, and by the commanding way in which Jozef managed to put these 3 arrows into the X-ring, I mean, I think he shows that he's here for business. He's not here for fun.
He wants that second stage win. But curious at the beginning there, playing around with his arrows in his quiver. Very strange that he must have eaten up at least 5 seconds of his time.
Yeah, I think what happened is that he put his arrow in his arrows in the wrong pocket in his quiver, because he has 2 sets of arrows there, one with red knocks and one with green knocks. And I think, but I'm not a judge, so don't pin me on this, but I think you're only supposed to shoot with 1 color knock in a match. So unless you ask the judge beforehand, is it okay if I shoot different color knocks? But I think he just put them in the wrong pocket and grabbed the wrong arrows there. So maybe somebody can enlighten us on the whole knock story, but
Počítaj si.
Nine. No.
Pravo na tretí, poď, ideme ďalej.
Nine. No.
Wow. What is going on here? Nerves getting to them, perhaps?
yeah, John shoots a 9, and then Jozef also shoots a 9, which would give John the idea like, okay, I'm still in this match, and then he shoots a 9 as well. So now, regardless of what John does, if Jozef manages to shoot this in the gold or now even in the 8, he wins the match and continues the gold medal.
Huge determination from Jozef Bosansky of Slovakia. Found himself a couple of points back with an 8 that was measured up to a 9. Kept him in the match, and then, well, he pinned down ends 3 and 4, 2 perfect, and a 29 was enough to see him through to the win here in Paris, and he'll go on to shoot for gold. Great deal of camaraderie between Bosansky and Pizarro, though.
Yeah, from what I understand, I've never had extensive conversations with Jozef, but from what I hear, he's probably one of the nicest guys on the field. So I'm just guessing that they know each other, and they have hung out, or they at least have mutual respect for each and another.
They certainly have that, but it is Jozef Bosansky from Slovakia who goes on, and we'll see him a little bit later in the gold medal match. First up, we'll see Jean Pizarro again very soon for the bronze medal playoff against Stefan Heinz of Austria.